Uh, Today is October. Um, October 18th, 2018, and I got an email talking about why is it taking me so long just to go and run a pageant. It just doesn't take that long. You could have been done this in like 18 months tops, um, which is true. It's really true. But my response to them was to not have quick fixes. When you start doing stuff rushingly, um, you end up missing a lot of keys and a lot of things that God is probably trying to tell you to do. During this journey, I thought I was going to be done as soon as even before I even won the pageant. I just thought I was supposed to do the pageant and just be done. That was my intentions, but God has something so totally different, and then I won it. And then I thought I would just go and compete and then I'll be done. But it didn't happen that way. Um, it dragged out. I found out, and I had so many situations that I thought were horrible. But after a while, I started learning that those situations catapulted me into what God was trying to get me to become. I knew that I wasn't the person um, that I wanted to be. I wasn't ashamed of myself or anything like that, but I knew that where I was supposed to be, but I didn't know how to get to it. Get to that point. And during this time, God has shown me this. Like every day, shown me this by what I saw, what I interacted, what I came in contact with. Meeting the people, having the connections when I didn't have authority to have those connections or connections to have those connections, or seeing things from the view of another viewpoint that I probably would have never saw in my life. So that's why I responded and said I don't look for quick fixes anymore. Not only that, if I wouldn't have done that, I wouldn't have got, I probably wouldn't have been hit or whatever. But I wouldn't be having my teeth fixed, simple stuff like that. It doesn't have to be that deep, but I understand that in order to be successful, in order to properly execute, in order to properly fulfill a task, you have to be prudent and you have to be diligent and prudent. And, diligent is delicate about a situation, but prudent means you have to be under scrutiny. You have to make sure your T's are crossed and your I's are dotted, as what they say. But you have to make sure that everything is intact, because when moving forward, you don't want to have to retract and go back and do something that you could have avoided, or instead of, trying to go and be so fast with everything. You have to be very diligent. It's like working smart. It's working smart and not hard. If I would have went and I just went with the whole pageantry and I started talking about homelessness, like when I was talking about it like 3 years ago, yes, it was starting to go on the rise. But 3 years later, now I see it is definitely on the rise now, and more people are talking about it. I don't have to seem like it's forced, even though, the revelation was already given to me, like when I was young, like when I was like a kid, and then more intense when I got in high school, more intense as an adult. But now I don't have to force that because it's coming to flourishing, and more people are aware of it, more people are seeing it. So that is my response. I don't try to look for quick fixes. Even with jobs anymore, there was a time where I couldn't get a job, and me having my certificates and degrees, I could not get a job. It was crazy. Like somebody did some kind of stuff and buried my certificate. I'm trying to tell y'all. um, but I learned, the thing that I had to do to get out of it. It took time. It was prayer, fasting. I had to get closer to God, point blank. People always talk about prayer and fasting, but I really had to get close and listen to what He he had to say to me. It's not jumping around. It's not, making a big show. A lot of people didn't even know that I was a believer. They just knew that I was a really, really kind, nice person. I was a very diligent person. Yeah, so that is why. Never, if you're looking at this, never look at the outside. People who usually go through stuff like that and they try to rush, they usually have pitfalls. So don't look at it. I look at that like how in the Bible it says the race is not given to the swift nor the strong, but to the one that endureth to the end. You can't win a race if you don't keep going. You don't keep going and you don't be diligent with it. In order to keep going, you can't just be reckless with it, because you're going to hurt yourself. You're not going to be able to enjoy that you accomplished running a race if you didn't do it diligent. Say, for instance, you're running a race with sandals. Your feet are going to hurt, if you don't have the proper gear, if you don't have the proper hydration, you're not going to enjoy it. So this is why I took the time, and this is why, because I know that because of this and going through this, it's going to help a lot of people. This is my calling. This is what God has assigned me to do. So I know that I cannot slack because the lives of others are dependent on that. Not only that, my life is dependent on it. My call, my purpose, my mission, to glorify the master, the true master, is depending on it. So I can't sit there and I can't be, I'm not being slothful or anything, but I'm just being very diligent and being very prudent in my operations, how I operate around people. How do I respond to people? How do I, don't be so quick to be angry. Don't be so quick to be, eager beaver to go and attack every situation that you can. I had to learn that, because I want people to think that I'm a good person, but I've learned that there are different ways. So, yeah, that is just about it. That is just about it. Don't look for quick fixes. If you look in your neighborhoods and you look how people, like, they always talk about the streets. That's another illustration. Like, people, they look at the streets and they're like, our streets need to be paved. And they say, well, this is going to take 6 months to pave our streets. And people are like, we don't have time for that. The winter is coming. The winter is coming. And they say, okay, well, we can go fill the potholes. And they fill it up with gravel. And then, you know what? Within 1 month, 2 months tops. I'm going to say 1 month because usually it's 1 month. After they go and put that gravel in that pot, in those potholes, the cars run over it, and the freaking gravel just comes all over on the cars, and it comes out of the hole. And not only does it, the hole goes back and it's still there, other people's cars are damaged. You got all this stuff wasted out. People got paid. Taxpayers' dollars are missing because they went and did the cheap way, and now they got to go back to the drawing board and do it again and say, now, well, this didn't work. Well, we need to go do something else. And sometimes they go and put the little packet in and do the little mini pavement as a second option, but usually they try to do it again and again and again until like the 6th time. So instead of doing the right thing, and that's repaving the road, scraping it up from the root, getting all the dirty and the old stuff out, getting all that old gunk out and replacing it with the new. And that's the same thing when you're dealing with your life and your life causes and things that go in your everyday life. You just sometimes you have to. It takes time, and you got to be diligent and prudent. So that's why that's why. Look, I can't really explain it too much. That's just about it. So hopefully something I said or done will help you on your journey. Please stay tuned to Journey to Jerusalem. And if you want to donate, please look on the link from my page, and it will tell you how to donate to the fund. If you want to donate to Patricia's Sanctuary, please definitely do that. Thank you so much in advance for doing that. And thank you for being a partaker of this channel, because there's like millions of channels on freaking YouTube that are doing 12,000 causes, and you don't have to look at me. So, and because you did, I am definitely grateful. I am so grateful, and I'm humbly blessed. And I don't want to take that for granted, and I don't want you to think I took it for granted. So, thank you so much. Share it if you can, if you think it's going to help someone. If it helped you, good. Thank you, and stay tuned.